يا نجوما زينت ثوب الليالي احضنيني واعلمي سر انفعالي سأناجي الله ربي ذا الجلال بخضوعي ونجوعي وسؤالي بخضوعي ونجوعي وسؤالي خيما الصمت فارسلت ثنائي ثم أتبعت ثنائي.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First and foremost, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we send peace and blessings upon His final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakumullah khair for each and every one of you attending today. The topic, which is the etiquettes of socializing in Al-Islam. Now, no doubt, when you look to Al-Islam and you study our deen, you find that a great portion of it is regarding etiquettes or adab. And a Muslim is characterized, no doubt, by his akhlaq, is it not? His character. That's why one of the most popular topics is talking about the Muslim character or the Muslim personality. So the topic today is about our etiquettes or our mannerism when it comes to socializing. Now, you think socializing is something that comes natural for some people. But for others, it is not as natural as you would think. So Islam didn't come just to say, for example, to tell you that you pray 5 times or you fast a month of Ramadan. Islam came with a complete system of life. So even this issue of how people interact with each other, from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's been guidance given. And I just said the best of example is who? The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So not only are we given instructions about how we socialize or interact with each other, we're given a role model to watch and to observe and to take as our example for even the way we do our own actions or even the way we interact with each other. So the two topics here is talking about our personality, our akhlaq, and regards to the fact that as Muslims we should be social beings. And this in itself is something that is not just limited to, say, Muslims. It is a thing that all humanity has anyway. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He addressed this in the Quran. He said, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakri wal untha, wa aja'annakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila li ta'arafu, inna akrakum indallah atqakum. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the verse, Surah Hujurat. O mankind, we made you from men and women. So socializing, when we socially come together, we have to consider this as well. But how do we deal with each other when it's men and there's women? But Allah says we made you shu'uban wa qaba'ila. We made you nations. And if I was to say to you, what nation are you from? Though we're all British citizens, alhamdulillah, we've got our purple passport, European passport. But if I was to say you, what nationality are you? You would say? Turkish. You would say, Akhi? Somalian. I'm Bengali. So there's a certain nation, jinsiyah, that is attached to you. Though I'm British, like yourself, we're all British, alhamdulillah. But we're also qaba'ila, we're tribes. We're a certain race as well. So we'd find somebody may say that they're from Morocco, or they may say they're from Algeria, but in the end, we will say that they are Arabs, Arab tribes. So there's a lot of distinction. But what Allah is saying in this verse is that we made you so different. We gave you nations, we gave you this feature linked to language, linked to the way that you interact and your culture, all of this for what person? Li ta'arafu. Who knows the Arabic here? What does ta'arafu mean? To know each other. To know each other. Which means you've got to go out and meet each other. But there's going to be differences amongst you. You've got to take all that on board. And this is not Allah addressing just the Muslims here. Allah is addressing who? All of humanity. Your men and your women. Your nations. Your tribes. We made you different. And this is from the majesty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah, He can do this. Make you so different. Then after all of that, the differences, Allah says, no, these differences is so that you can recognize each other. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Which of the favors of Allah are you going to deny? Which are you going to deny? So this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that you can get to know each other. And that's why one of the things, when I teach the Arabic language, and those who study when we know, one of the first topics I teach is Tahiyyat wa Ta'aruf. Tahiyyat, which means what? Greetings. When you learn the Arabic language, you're learning the greetings, okay? So one of the things you say, Assalamu alaikum, you say, I say, Kayfa alaikum, you say, I'm bi khairin, okay? Then you say, Ma ismuk, what is your name, you say, Ana ismi, and so on, and say, Tasharafna. We will say, I'm pleased to meet you. So in the very basic, we're taught what? Greetings, we're talking how to introduce ourselves, ask about the state of another person, and then afterwards tasharafna, we are honored to meet each other. Can you see how that works? This is just to show you etiquette of meeting and socializing with each other. And like I said, Allah addressed the whole of humanity regards this. And that's why the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, first and foremost, is that there is la fadal li arabi ala ajami wa la li ajami ala arabi. This is the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said that there is no preference for the Arab person over the non-Arab. And there's no preference over the non-Arab over the Arab. Why do I mention this? Because we find these communities, they don't like to mix too much. There's a whole culture and a certain socialization when you're amongst Arabs. And then when you're amongst non-Arabs, a whole total different things. But the Prophet ﷺ said, no, there is no difference amongst you, illa bi taqwa. There's no difference. You're not preferred over one another because of the fact that you were created like this by Allah or so on and so on. No. But the fact that you have taqwa. That's what the verse says, Inna akramakum indallah atqakum. The most honorable amongst you is who? The one who fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Sahaba, they asked the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, asked this question, who is the most noble amongst us, Ya Rasulullah? So the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said at the verses, Inna akramakum indallah atqakum. The one in the sight of Allah who is the most honorable is the one who fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Sahaba said, we're not asking you about this. So the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, okay, the most noble amongst us is Yusuf ibn Yaqub, ibn Ishaq, ibn Ibrahim Khalilullah. He is the most noble because he's the prophet, the son of a prophet, and the prophet's father himself came from another prophet from the lineage which goes back to Ibrahim alayhi salam. I mean, what a noble lineage that is it not? The Sahaba said, that's not what we're asking you either. Imagine them questioning the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, I understand what you're asking. You want to know about Arabs. I mean, you want to know about yourselves. So the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, khayrukum fil jahiliyyah, khayrukum fil Islam. Idha fakuhu. The best amongst you is the one you used to be good in jahiliyyah. And then when you came into Islam, you're the best as well because you had the good qualities even when you were ignorant of what to do. But you had this certain quality about you. But when you came into Islam, you brought those and you increased yourself. Because now you do with awareness. But you've got to have the understanding. Now why am I mentioning all this? When it comes to etiquette, when it comes to even the way we socialize, we've got to have a foundation for where we take our actions from. People have different definitions of what is good or what is bad. They have different definitions. So we're going to differ on those issues. But if we've been given a standard by Allah Almighty from above the seven heavens, and then Allah sent the best of creation as an example, see, when we have that as our indicator, see, all other discussions is over, really. what do you think is good, or what do you think is good, doesn't really matter to me. Is it according to this criteria that I have here? Because the fact that you're from a certain race, or the fact that you speak a certain language, doesn't mean anything in the eyes of Allah. Except the fact is, do you have the taqwa? Are you following the example of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So we have to have a foundation for where we get our etiquettes from and the rules that we apply when it comes to socializing. This verse here, Allah Azza wa Jalla talks about the believers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. What does that mean? Believers are a brotherhood. فَأَصْلُ بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. The believers are a brotherhood, yes? فَأَصْلُ بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. What should you do if there's issues between the brothers? What should you do? To try to reconcile, not to make the matters worse. Fear Allah. If you fear Allah regards this issue, what will happen? You will receive the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why did I mention this? Because we have certain characters in Muslims, because we're supposed to be social beings, yes? To be sociable means to be approachable, yes? To be approachable means, that's what it means, to be able to go and, if you say salam to someone, you expect to reply back, don't you? I was just speaking about this to a brother the other day. I said, Akhi, I'm going to go to do this talk in this area, I'm going to talk about etiquette in Islam. He goes, MashaAllah, very good topic. Very good topic. I said, yes, inshallah, because it's so important talking about etiquette, especially when it comes to socializing. I mean, brother, wouldn't it upset you if you gave someone salam and they didn't give you salam back? He goes, Akhi, that's fine. If somebody didn't give my salam back here, I could understand that. What gets me even worse is when you go past someone and you don't say something, or you say something and he frowns at you. Because this is the type of Muslims we're dealing with now. You say, Assalamu alaikum. It's not the fact that he was silent, because sometimes you can give him the excuse that he didn't hear you. He looks at you, doesn't give you the salam back, but rather he frowns. So we get the angry Muslim now. Now, some people like this persona. I'm the angry Muslim. To the point some people say he's a hard Muslim. That's one hard brother. Yeah? Do we get this, yeah? This is unfortunately the gym phenomena that's done this nowadays. Everybody is just pumping weight and so on, and it sometimes gets to the head. Is this the example of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? No, it's not. Where do we get this notion of being hard, angry Muslims? Is that the approachable person? That is not the approachable person. It is not. And it has an effect being like this. One day, my young son is a teenager now, but this is when early years. He was going through YouTube and he kept typing this thing angry, and he was called Angry Kid. Has anyone ever seen this Angry Kid? Anyway, you're going to check it now that I mentioned it. Type in Angry Kid. This is like plasticine type face or so on, man. It's a kid. He's always angry. So we didn't realize that it was having an effect on him, because he would play up what was on the video. And then we realized by going through his browser that he's watching YouTube, Angry Kid. An angry kid, he didn't take anything to set him off. So he was mimicking it because he found it funny. And we said, no, Baba, you don't do this. Don't watch this. You know, it's not the worst stuff that he could watch. But I'm saying even still, he has an effect on his character. Angry kid. So it can affect you, the character. So we said to him, don't watch this. And alhamdulillah, he hasn't watched it since. Though he finds it very funny. He thinks it's hilarious people can be like that. But this is not the way we should be. The angry Muslim is not the approachable Muslim, and it's honestly not fun to be with. Because the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam already told us the nature of where anger comes from. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, La taqdab, which means what? Don't get angry. La taqdab. So the Nabi told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, don't get angry. Don't get angry, because the anger comes from ash-shaytan. And also the anger has certain effect. When you have this sort of emotion within you, you're going to say things that you didn't really want to say. Or you're going to do things that you didn't really want to do because of the emotion that you have. So sometimes what people will say is, I want to be like Umar. Who doesn't want to be like Umar? He used to go around the markets with a whip. He was the Khalifa, yes? Radiallahu ta'ala. He would go around the market, and if he saw someone misbehaving, what would he do on the spot? Give him a lash. Or he'd just poke him. You know, he used to try to bring people back on the straight path when he saw him like this. The type of man that if he went into the market and he would say, do you know the ahkam of bayu? Do you know how to trade? And the man said, La adri. He would say, get out. He said, I don't know, get out. Leave the market. We don't want someone jahil like you coming and disrupting our markets. Go and learn how to buy and sell and so on, and then come back to the market. Hard Muslim, mashallah. Yeah? But the thing is, you've got to put it in context. Put it in context. See, Omar, his anger was for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So your anger could be what? For your own nafs. Not the case. Are we saying we're on the level of Umar al-Khattab? The Rasul ﷺ said about the sifat of Umar is that when he used to walk on the road, the shaitan would walk on the other path. The Nabi ﷺ, he gave sifat of the 4 Khalifa. He said, Arhama ummati bi ummati Abu Bakr, wa ashidduhum fi amrillah Umar, wa astaq al-haya Uthman, wa aqdamhum Ali. Look to the qualities. The most merciful of my ummah is who? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And the one who is the harshest when it comes to the command of Allah is who? Umar. The one who is the most shy, Uthman. And the one who is upright when it comes to judgment is who? Ali. Now these are qualities the Rasul ﷺ mentioned because he knows his companions well. He knows the type of people that they are. Now Umar to be the most harshest with the Muslims means he has knowledge, does he not? The Rasul ﷺ said, if I had 2 things and one was harder and one easier, I'll take the easier option as long as it was halal. Umar, he liked to pick the harsh one. That's his understanding. If something, he used to, because that's the quality of the person. That's his personality. That's his personality. Now, we can't equate something like that and say we want to be angry Muslims, because that's not the social type of Muslim. It's not an approachable type of Muslim. So, a lot of people may say, well, what about the verse? Muhammadur Rasulullah walladina ma'hu ashiddaw ala al-kuffar ruhama baynahum. Brothers, you know this? Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and those with him, ashiddaw ala al-kuffar ruhama baynahum. They're harsh on the kuffar, they're harsh on the disbelievers. But what are they amongst themselves? Merciful. So they say, no, I'm hard, but this is it's not towards you, akhi. It's not towards you, it's the kuffar, non-Muslim. So this is what they will say. Again, whenever we take these sort of evidences, we have to put it into context. What is that verse talking about? When can you be ashidda wal al-kuffar? What can you be harsh upon the disbelievers? When is it? Battlefield. Ya ayyuhan nabi jahidul kuffar wal munafiqin waghlud alayhim. When is this talking about? In the battlefield. If you're at war, you're not making love. This is the nature. And when we studied the history of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is not a social event, is it? This is when they are fighting. But rather, when you're amongst non-Muslims, what should you do? Give da'wah. What is the form of the da'wah? Ud'u ila sabili bil hikmah wal maw'izati al hasana wa jadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Call to the way of your Lord in which manner? With no hikmah. Which is the hikmah? Wisdom. Wisdom means knowledge. To know a thing when you're talking about it. That's why they said one of the first criteria of giving da'wah to anybody is to know knowledge. What you're calling people to. Wal maw'izati al hasana. This is a fair preaching. So if you're an angry Muslim, you're not going to even understand what fair preaching is. I'll give you an example. You want to invite someone to Islam. What are you trying to save him from? Hellfire. So you speak to him and you say, like today is what? Good Friday. Yeah, mashallah, it's Yawm al-Jum'ah. For us, it's Good Friday every Friday of the year, alhamdulillah. But for them, they're calling it a special day. So you meet someone like that and you're chatting to him. So you're chatting to him and then you start saying, oh, no, I understand everything you're saying, but, he comes back and he says, I still believe Jesus is God. So you're Mr. Angry Muslim. You've probably spoken half an hour to him, but he still hasn't understood. So you say, okay, then go to hell. That is the end of your da'wah. Half an hour speaking to someone who's been Christian all their life, and you say, just go to hell. Why? No patience. Angry Muslim. This man, he wasted an hour of my time. You can't have this attitude. Fair preaching. Work with them. And if you debate with them, what do? Jidalhum billati ahsan. Again, when you're speaking to them, when you're debating with them, in the best of manner. Best of manner. You don't spend half an hour just to go to hell at the end. That person going to speak to you anymore? Not going to speak to you anymore. Not going to speak to you anymore. Again, it's just important for us to understand these principles, insha'Allah ta'ala. Now, let's talk a little bit about the etiquettes of us when we come together, and obviously how we socialize amongst ourselves. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is an excellent example for us. And if you study any part of his life, you'll find, subhanAllah, the timing of the thing, the action the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam did has so much wisdom. We live in a society, yes, very multicultural, yes? Very diverse. Very different. So the whole topic is about socializing. Socializing means you have to make effort to go out, to talk to people. Usually there's a bit of fun involved. You know, you invite me to anything for food, alhamdulillah, I'm there. I'll crack the jokes if you want, no problem. Keep the food coming, inshallah. I'll respond. But even that, the fact is you have to go out, you have to go meet people. It's all about this. Look to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When he made hijrah to Medina, and he left the most beloved land to him, Makkah, to go to Medina, he left everything that he loved. His own people, his own family, went to another people. There he was living amongst us Arabs. He went to a place which is very similar to how we live. Muslims mixed with who? Mushrikeen as well as who? Yahud, what? Nasara, Jews and Christian. Now I want you to think about this. You've gone, you left from being persecuted. You go to a land which is very mixed. Alhamdulillah, we have Islam implemented. What is the first command that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives his companions? Well known, documented history. What do you think the first command is? Afshu salam bainakum. Afshu salam bainakum. Give the greetings of peace amongst yourselves. This is Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah is the haqq of who? So if I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you say? MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah, that's my right. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told the Muslim that he should do this. What was he doing meanwhile with the Yahud wa Nasara? What was he doing with them? He went there and he made treaty so that they can live amongst us in peace and security. So that they wouldn't fear living amongst us. And the Muslims didn't fear living amongst them as well. Because you're going to be out and about, you're going to meet each other and so on. So there's a lesson there. The state of the Muslim is always to be at this sort of tranquil level. Angry Muslim, he should be way out the back there somewhere. He's not the example for us to follow. Rather, the salam is the thing the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said at that time. Pass amongst the people. This is what you should do. And that's why the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Haqqul Muslim ala Muslim khams. The right of a Muslim upon a Muslim is 5. Raddu salam. Raddu salam. The first thing is that you reply to the salam. And that's why we said, when somebody doesn't respond to this, because whenever we meet in any form of gathering or any social gathering or anything like that, the first thing that you do is always the salam. So when people don't respond back to this, what happens? You feel very upset about this. Because this is the basic right of each and every one. Wa iyadat al-marid, that is the second one, is that you should go and visit the sick. Believe it or not, before I even came here, I went to visit someone very sick. And when I went to visit someone very sick, I took with me food. I took with me lots of stuff with me to visit the sick person. Because the sick person at that time, you go to visit them, what will happen? They feel obliged. Oh my God, I got to honor you. You're my guest. But now I'm going to go to see you because you're in a state not as good as I am. You're worse off than me at this moment. Allah is testing you. So I do what? I go to visit you because you're not able to come and see me. And when I go, what did I take? I took some food and so on and so on. So you don't feel burdened in any way. This is the right. Wattiba al-janaiz, which is to follow the janazah. So whenever you hear, for example, that somebody has passed away, you think this person passed away, this person has no right upon me. No, he does. The person, if you know them, or you knew them, and they passed away, then you should go to the janazah. You used to have times with this person, did you not? It could have been even someone maybe not in your generation, but a friend of your father, but he used to be close to your father. You go for the sake of your father. But he's a Muslim, he has this right upon you. So you should do this. Ijabat ad-dawa. Ijabat ad-dawa, which is the fourth thing, which is that if somebody gives an invitation, what should you do? What do we mean by ijabat ad-dawa? Dawa here means invitation for food. Many a times when we get invited for some food, and when is the normal time we get invited for food? Weddings, akika, and so on. Muslims shouldn't think twice when a Muslim asks you, come to my daughter's nikah, walima, or my son's walima. Or, mashallah, have a baby boy come to the Aqiqah. You shouldn't think twice about this. Because this is the right of a Muslim upon another Muslim. This is the time for you to meet together and socialize. That's why the ulama, they said, some ulama said it's wajib for you to go. I mean, if somebody invites you, you should wajib for you to go. I mean, it's an obligation for you to fulfill this stuff. And if you don't go, what are you? Sinful. The only excuse you have is if something else pressing comes up. But the fact that you feel lazy about this is not excuse enough. Because what is that trying to cement? Brotherhood. Allah SWT talks about the brotherhood. We said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Yes, we said that, yes. But Allah said, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold on to the rope of Allah, all of you. Allah made us brothers, and He wanted us for those occasions to come and meet and socialize and be together. Then the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Tashmit atis. That if somebody sneezes and he says, Alhamdulillah, what should he say? Yarhamkullah. Now this seems like very basic advice given by the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But this is talking about how we should be with each other. It has a fundamental effect. And that's why for us as Muslims, we need to always start off something like this. Have we got all our basics in order? Have we got the basics in order? That's why one of the things with knowledge is to know the etiquettes of doing a thing. That's why I teach children in madrasa. And I love the age that I'm teaching them at. We're teaching them from the age, well, the madrasa starts from 3 to 16. But the group I've got is for like 8 to about 14. It's just when they're coming through that part, you know, like they're understanding more and so on and so on. I like them at this age, you know why? Because I teach them about character. And I like teaching because they respond. They're at the age beyond tamayiz. You know, when kids reach above 7, they're very smart. Good age to start Hifz al-Quran, is it not? Because they can comprehend and take a lot of things on. I like them at that time so I can mold them. And I get very upset when some of them leave me because maybe they weren't with me long enough and I see them on the street and then we say, his akhlaq is not good. Because I don't feel I've done justice. I've done enough effort. Because of what? This is my role, is it not? To teach them about this sort of thing. So the basics is, this is the sort of thing that we should instill in each and every one of us first. So let's talk about some situations and scenarios, inshallah ta'ala, to give us a better understanding about socializing. First and foremost, to understand that one of the main forms of socialization is food, is it not? Yes, we all love to come to food. And we said it's wajib for you to go if somebody invites you to a nikah. Now, I don't know where you live exactly, but the area I'm from, mashallah, there are many wedding halls, mashallah. Many, like, to go to my mosque, I have to go past the wedding hall. If I go to the main mosque in our area, there's even a wedding in that hall itself. So every day or other, you're going to find there's a wedding going on. Now, we said if somebody invites you, you should go. But if somebody doesn't invite you and you feel hungry, and you think, mashallah, I know that akhi is going in there. Can you just go in? And you know what it's going to be. It's going to be a nice platter start. Maybe there's going to be chicken curry, meat curry, tandoori chicken. You know, you can easily eat it. Say, Salamu alaikum, who's your brother? And you can eat and you can leave. And honestly, you know me, I could eat 7 days a week like that if I wanted to. Because of the area where I'm, mashallah, a lot of Muslims and a lot of weddings happening. Especially now, you know, everyone's trying to get married before Ramadan comes. What do you think would happen if you were to go in and walk into a wedding like that and you weren't invited? What do you think would happen? Was it permissible for first and foremost? No one's giving me any answer, which means they don't know. You have to seek permission. This is what I wanted to hear. You cannot just enter. And really, you shouldn't go. If you're not being invited, you shouldn't invite yourself. There was a time when the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam met a Sahabi, and the Sahabi said, Ya Rasul, come to my house now for food. So the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam accepted, he came. En route, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam knows he has to go to this Sahabi's house. En route, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam meets Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Then the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam meets Umar al-Khattab. They are the two advisors of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the right hand and the second right hand man of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is how it is, yes? The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't tell them, but he's going to respond to this invitation. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam knocked. I don't think they knocked on that. They just used to have, we would call. And the Sahabi came and said, Ya Rasulullah, you honor us by coming. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam turned around straight away and said, I have come, but I did not bring Umar and I did not bring Abu Bakr Siddiq with me. It's up to you. If you want, they can come, otherwise they will go away. Imagine that. Imagine that. Now, how do you think Umar and Abu Bakr Siddiq, they would feel at that time? But the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is setting a precedent that you only come if you're invited. If not, there should be no hard feelings. And he gave the choice to who? The Sahabi, who invited. The Sahabi said, of course, Ya Rasulullah, you're welcome, and your companion, of course, they're welcome. They're welcome to come. And they all came in there. But the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam set a precedent there. So this is one of the things that we need to understand, that we go when we're invited, and we're not invited, no hard feeling. It should be no hard feeling. There, we should make excuse for our Muslim brother. This is what we should do. Now the thing is, when you go for food, one of the things to understand is that you go in for the food, or you're going just to have a good time, or what are you going there for? What is the main purpose of invite for food? To eat the food. What should you do once you've eaten the food? You should try to make reasons and excuses to leave. Because many a time this happens. I know in my culture, Asian subcontinent, we have this thing. That you invite someone to come for lunch, and mashallah, they're talking and they had nice food, and the next thing you know is tea time, yeah? So you give some tea and some cake, and the next thing you know, they're still there, and now you're thinking, have I cooked enough for evening meal? But you feel obliged to feed them in the evening as well. Now you may think, I shouldn't let them go, and so on and so on and so on. But really, the person, if they were invited to come for the lunchtime meal, they should make excuse to leave. Because the fact is, it's not an all-day event. You didn't advertise it like this. I love these all-day events, mashallah, because if there's an all-day event anywhere, then there'll be some food there, inshallah ta'ala. There's an all-day event tomorrow, by the way. The brother's going to announce it tomorrow, inshallah. About tomorrow, inshallah. But the thing is, that is the etiquette, that you should leave. You should leave, and that's why even sometimes these things become, you love the food at the time and you got distaste afterwards, because you're thinking like, this brother or this sister or this family was nice that they came, but now that they're still hanging about and lingering and so on. And it can be an effect. Now, the etiquette's what? You, as the guest, you should leave. And this happened in the time of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he got married to Zainab bin Jahsh, radiyallahu anha. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he invited the people, and obviously the people used to eat the mosque. And where did the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam live compared to the mosque? Where was his house compared to the mosque in Medina? Just right next to it, adjacent. Just right next to it. So the people, they ate in the mosque and they used to go into the house of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam because it's connected and so on. There were some people, they sat in the corner, they ate their food and they were chatting away. So the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he's got his bride to bring into his house. So he popped into the door and he saw that those two people were standing or sitting and they're still chatting. So the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam walked away. Came back on a second occasion and they are still there. On a third occasion, they're still there. Then they finally got the gist and then they moved away. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the verse of hijab. Oh, you believe, tell your wives and your daughters to cover up and so on and so on. This is the verse of the hijab. So this is showing that Allah, He revealed this, but He mentioned the issue, look, you are troubling the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You are troubling your host. When you finish eating, leave. This is what you should do. So this is one of the etiquettes of socializing that we need to understand. The second point I want to speak about regards to socializing is, what do we do? What do we do, brothers, when we meet? Apart from the food, we like to have good conversation. Is not the case? MashaAllah. It's not the case, yes? What about the sisters? What do they like when they come together? They forget about the food and it's all talk. That's not the case. Forget about the food and so on. So the speech is so important for us when it comes to socializing. Because the issue is, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyakul khayrun aw la yasmut. From amongst you who believes in Allah and the last day, what should you do? Speak good or be silent. Speak good. So when you come together to socialize, one of the things should be that we are going to speak about good things. Speak about good things, otherwise be silent. This is the nature of Muslims. Because everything we say is being written down. Everything we say is on record. That's why what do you speak? And those people who just like to idly speak is the worst thing that you can do. And even sometimes what they do, people when they come to joking, because what happens after you talk about life's affairs and speak about this and that, people just start to muck around and joke and so on. So one of the things is at this time to be careful. Because some people, I've seen on the Facebook, they like to talk and talk and talk on Facebook and so on, and then you find all of a sudden swear words coming in. F this for a laugh. Can you see? You find people using language which shouldn't be used, but they just drop their guard because they're speaking so much. And this is not something that is acceptable in Islam. Always you are conscious of what you're doing, especially in the gathering as you are. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that the type of speech that we have is good anyway. The type of speech is good speech. And it doesn't get into that thing where now what we are ending up doing is idly speaking and we're going to now just pick on somebody. Just pick on somebody and amongst yourself, or to talk about people that are not here, because this is a favorite pastime of a lot of people. Backbiting. Backbiting. What is backbiting? How do you know when you've gone past the boundary of backbiting? Say, Fulan here, this is such a serious topic because I tell you, many people end up doing this. Fulan here, he's not amongst the company, but we're speaking about him. But if he was to be here and what I said was to hurt him, then that is backbiting. That is backbiting. And a lot of people do this. I'm very conscious of this. Sometimes when I speak about something and something's upset me, I will say something and then I'll say, hang on a minute now. I think this is going to approach backbiting. I'm going to stop it there. This is how you should be. Because the Muslim is someone who has sanctity. And it should be sanctified whether he's in your presence or when he's not there at all. Al-Muslim man salima muslimin min lisanihi wa yadihi. Who said this? Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Muslim, you are the Muslim. You're a Muslim when other Muslims are safeguarded from your tongue and your hand. I'll give you an example. Some of you may have met me for the first time here, some of you know me and so on. See, my character, you've got a certain persona, I'm here. But you want to know that when I walk away from or you just speak to me in the corridor or maybe in the masjid later on, you expect same akhlaq, don't you? How about if I was to now start using language that offended you in some ways? Or spoke in a manner that is harsh towards you and so on? What will happen? Have I saved you from my tongue? I haven't. So you're supposed to feel that you can approach me and that you will be saved from my tongue. Because some people, they have this attitude. I'm a straight up man. I say it as it is. Have you heard people like this? Is anyone here like this? People think this is really good. Man, I give it like it is. This is wrong. Why do you have to give it? Sometimes to not say a thing is even better. Sometimes you may see something in a person and you say, I'm just going to go up and tell him. It's not backbiting, I'm just going to go and tell him. The man, he's in a different zone altogether. You brought something up that doesn't really concern him at that time, and what have you done? You've upset him. What have you done? Have you increased the brotherhood anyway? You haven't. You've done nothing to help the brotherhood. We said the brotherhood is something that is so important in Islam. So sometimes not to give it as it is a good thing. Because the hadith says, if you're not going to say something good, be quiet. If you're not going to say anything good, just be quiet on this issue. So this is to regards to the issue of speech. And I'll give you an example what happened. The other day, talking about anger, the other day, and brother will understand because he works on the road most of the time, mashallah. You're on a normal road, and you know when you have a road that has a junction on it and they have to come in, you have to stop and give way, yes? Mashallah, one brother, he decided on one of these things to do a reverse into a road. So the guy in front of him was a black cab, he beeped him, pressed the horn, so the guy, mashallah, he stopped. I'm just behind him, no, not very far. He's trying to do a turn now and just get in. So I beeped him as well. Now, is there anything wrong with beeping if you think there's going to be a hazard? Tell me. There is nothing. I beeped him, yes? The brother, he beat me back. Roads were kind of quiet after me, so I just stopped and I looked at him. So the brother pulled his window down, I pulled my window down, and he was defensive straight away. He goes, why did you beat me? I said, Akhi, I beeped you because you were about to pull out. He goes, no, I saw you. He goes, that guy just beat me. He didn't mean to beat me either. I said, Akhi, I beeped you because I thought you were going to just pull out. I was just warning you. He goes, well, I saw you. What was this conversation going? Was it going anywhere, this conversation after? What did I do? What do you think I did? I said, Salaam alaikum, and I just went off. My brother was with me at the time. He goes, bro, what was that all about? I said, don't worry about it. I just cut it off because this is not going to go anywhere anymore, is it? And sometimes we do this. Now this brother, he reacted like this. But I could be in the mosque next to him the following day. Me to go on, does it help in it? It doesn't help. So that's one of the other things that we need to understand. Also, when it comes to speech, we need to be concerned about those things that affect us. Because from the goodness of Islam is that you only concern that which is concerned you. Muslims, we like to be concerned about everything except ourselves. We sit there and then what will happen? You run out of things to speak about, and then what will happen? Did you hear? Did you hear about so-and-so? Did you know this and this happened? Did you know? And what happens? You are saying things, okay, because of what? Now you have to fill the gap. You're bringing things in which doesn't concern you at all. But you're doing it only because of what? This will cause interest. Did you hear? Now in Islam we have another thing. Whenever you say, did you hear a thing? When you say this, it should not be just hearsay. It should be facts that you speak about. And then even some facts we said can go into backbiting, because if you say a thing about a brother or your sister that they don't like to hear about, then what have you done? You've crossed the boundaries anyway. So this is another thing that we need to avoid. This thing about saying, did you hear? And so on and so on. Now speech plays a big role in the way the Muslims socialize, and it's important for us to appreciate this. Another point I want to speak about is the issue of times we visit each other. Islam even dictated to us when you can go and visit somebody and when you should avoid. And really there are 2 times to avoid visiting each other. Do you know what they are? What do you think of the times, 2 times of the day you should avoid? Link it to the Salah if you want.
After Isha or Fajr.
After Isha and what?
Before Fajr.
Before Fajr. No, some people used to visit each other before Fajr.
After Dhuhr.
After Dhuhr, and that time before Asr. You're supposed to have a siesta, a rest, you know. Not a marathon sleepover or anything like that. But these are the 2 times. Now, there's hikmah behind this. There is hikmah behind this. Why not after Isha anymore? You should be going to sleep. We have become a nation now that what we like to do is spend the night just talking and sleeping and having fun and so on, when Allah created the night as libas for you, like a blanket. Cover yourself over, go to sleep. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, I would like, if it's my way, I would like to extend the Isha to the last point, because I know the nature of people. To the last point, then people pray and then they have to go to sleep. But Isha Jama'ah is when now? When is the Isha Jama'ah now? 9:30? 9:30? Who goes to sleep about 10 o'clock then? Tell me. Anyone? MashaAllah. Really? MashaAllah. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. I want you to be honest. I just want to know. After 12 and 1 o'clock. MashaAllah. Can you see? Look at MashaAllah. 1 o'clock. You know what? If it was in my maktab, I'll be making you do some exercises now. Trust me. Up and down, up and down. You got too much energy. Only thing is, every time I do that, you know, all of them want to join in. They think it's PE time. Can you see what's happening to us? The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, I prefer that we just pray Isha and go to sleep. I mean, I shouldn't expect no one to come and visit me at that time. Get sleep, go get some proper sleep, wake up before even Fajr enters. Do your tahajjud if you can, but if not, go and pray Fajr in the masjid. Would you find it hard to get up for that Fajr? Tell me, if you were to go to sleep early, would you? You wouldn't do. You should go. So these are the times, and that time also after the Dhuhr and Asr. What's the reason behind this? You've already had a meal, yes? So if you entertain someone, you don't want to feed them after the meal time's gone. And also we're told, no, we're natural, we're humans, aren't we? Our body is going to, what's going to happen to it? It's tired after a meal and so on, you know? So this is the times to avoid. Also, when you come to visit somebody, obviously what do? You knock on the door, yes? So you knock on the door. What is the sunnah? There is a sunnah even involved in this. Knock on the door. Wait. How long should you wait? Time takes to pray 2 rakah. It should be 2 rakah. Why is 2 rakah only? There's a wisdom behind this. Why 2 rakah? They should have prayed any 4th, which is 4 in the masjid. Yeah? If I come to see Fulan, Omar and so on, if you're doing anything, it's just a sunnah in the house. So your house is in the graveyard. So we give you the time for 2 rakah. Maybe some nice time in case he wants to do some nice surah and so on. And then what do you do? Knock again. And then what should you do? Walk away. But what is the habit of Muslims nowadays? Knock. I've had this as well. People knock. Then the buzzer, and then the flat. Astaghfirullah. Hello, Salamu alaikum. And he's like, the thing. I tell you why. You know, I would open the door, no problem. But my wife would say, I'm not prepared to entertain anyone now. The house is a state. The house is not a state. Probably one cutting toy, something. But it's not, because when you invite someone, what should you do? You should honor your guest. That's what we like to invite people. I mean, even myself, brother. Before I even go to visit my mother, I always ring her before I go. I like to surprise her, yeah? But the surprise is 5 minutes before. Can I come? Yes? If not, no problem. How are you feeling? Okay? Do you think because I know my mum, straight away I go, regardless of the time, platter of food. So I need to know that she can, I'm her son, yes? She loves me most. Firstborn. But I still give her that opportunity because I don't want to inconvenience her. But those people, subhanAllah. Hello, are you there? I think I can hear something, water running. It's just too much. That's why the scholar said, if at that time somebody's blind and you actually poke them in the eye, and the eye, they're even blind, you know blood money. So this is what's happening. So there's certain etiquettes, all to do with convenience. Socializing is when you're relaxed, in that mood and so on, to entertain each other and so on. You're in that sort of mood, and that's why there's so much hikmah behind this. And that's why this habit of texting each other late at night, or even calling each other late at night, is not from the Sunnah either. On one occasion, I had a brother ring me just after midnight. Just after midnight. You know, sometimes, I don't know what routine you have to sleep. I try not to watch any YouTube while I'm lying down. Like, we got the iPhone. I try not to do that. Even Quran, I try to do whilst I'm awake. Not try to nod off to Quran. It's not good etiquette. So I try to do that. And my phone is on silent. So if it's anything urgent, the vibrate will wake me up. So on one occasion, brother rang me just after midnight. And like I say, my household habit to go to sleep early. Because we like to get up early and we like to enjoy life, the day, as it should be like this. Brother rang me. So I answered him and I said, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, And then I said, Akhi, it's quite late, It's quite late, it's after midnight. He goes, it's an emergency. I said, okay, Akhi, continue talking. Anyway, wherever the matter was, it was something that concerned him, but there's nothing I could do with at that time. I mean, it may be an emergency to him, but it's nothing that I could deal with at that time. Because it's midnight. There's nothing I can do about it. Even something I cannot even say on the phone to help him. So I mentioned that first. It's quite late, Akhi. He said it's emergency. I listened to him talk. And after that, I said, Akhi, there's nothing I can do at this moment in time. Look at the time and so on. And I left it. So I told him that this brother had grievance for me for months thereafter. He could not understand why did I tell him that he rang me late. And I said, there's etiquette. Firstly, I didn't obviously say to him, I just tried to make things easy for him because somebody doesn't understand. But really, this is what you got to understand. There is certain etiquette, but when you approach a Muslim and so on. Man, you want to contact me. I say people contact me early on. I'm awake. I like brothers who do posts in the morning. I read them and I respond to them. I like that. It means we're all awake at the right time we should be. I like that sort of thing. That's good, mashallah. But this sort of thing through the night and so on, and even texting through the night. You may have been inspired by that hadith, and mashallah, it hit you straight in the heart. But me, just at that time, I'm just trying to get the 40 wink now, It's not going to hit me at the same time, mashallah. So that's one of the other things that we need to appreciate. Timing is so important. Timing is so important when it comes to the issue of socializing amongst ourselves. I'm very conscious of the time now, and that Maghrib is going to hit very, very soon, inshallah ta'ala. So I'm going to try and conclude here, and maybe we'll allow about 5 minutes beforehand for some Q&A. But just to conclude, the points I want us to understand is etiquette is so important in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. About who? You are the great and exalted character. Who is this about? Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So those people who don't care about etiquette, who don't care about how to behave in the majlis and so on, they don't understand Islam. That's all I'm going to say. They don't understand the true nature of Islam and what being a Muslim is. That's why the scholars before, they would take half of the knowledge regards to issues from the scholars about the subject that they're studying, and the other half was just watching the scholar that they were learning from, or the person that they were learning from, the manners and so on, because this sort of stuff, even by words, you can't explain. You need to watch a person in that zone, in that environment. So those who belittle akhlaq and the attitudes and so on, they really don't understand Islam at all. Secondly, the issue is that as Muslims, our nature should be that we are salam. Afshu salam bainakum. spread the peace, the greetings amongst you. This is the nature of Muslims, and this is how we should be. We want to stop this notion of the angry, frustrated Muslim. Yes, we have frustration, but we have ways. We have complaints. Who do we complain to? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want to do a thing, we can do things in a proactive and a constructive manner. This is how we should be. And this is the way we should be, because this is the way the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was. Muslims like to approach him, even non-Muslims like to approach him. And that's why I said, if you're that type of person, you will find even socializing with non-Muslim, there's benefit in this. I speak to my neighbors all the time. I find benefit in this. You find a different angle about how they approach life, and you get to express your way of life. Can you see? You will never have this if you're not approachable. You need to try to be people that are approachable. And the last thing that I pray is that Allah gives us hidayah. We all had a jahiliyyah part of life. We all had a jahiliyyah part of life. None of us were born like the ways the prophets were born, ma'soom. We had a bad past and so on. But alhamdulillah, Allah gave us the tawfiq to correct ourselves. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as I said earlier, said, the best amongst you in jahiliyyah, when you didn't know much about Islam, but you were good in that time, is the best amongst you when you come to practice al-Islam. And that's how we should see ourselves, because we ask Allah to give us the fiqh of the deen, the understanding of this. وَقُولِ قَوْلِ هَذَا أَسْتَغْفِرُ لِي وَلَكُمْ. Thank you.
So if sister's got any questions, just write it down and pass it to the right, inshallah. Brothers got any questions, just raise your hands.
What's the best way I can approach, or I can respond when I'm asked to give a reference based on on marriage, or on other areas of life, whatever it could be, especially when I know the person, the individuals, both sides.
So what's the best way you can give a response on the reference? Inshallah.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. What you mentioned is a very good point, brother. The reason being, we said normally we think good of Muslims, and we only speak good of Muslims. And if there's anything bad, we try to cover their shame, and we ask Allah to guide them. But nikah is such a serious thing. Simple thing to do, yes? But if the wrong people end up marrying each other, it can be a disaster. Okay? And Allah hates that people divorce themselves, even though it is halal. Now, that's why one of the things is, from the Sunnah, is to ask for reference. And this is why I'm very pleased you mentioned this, brother. If this time you know a brother and you know he's good, you mention all his good qualities. Okay? You can praise him. Okay, you should do this. If he's bad and you don't think he's the right person, and this is not your own personal opinion, but because you know this person, maybe he's not a person of salah, maybe a person of fusuk, but people may have gone to him because maybe he has some qualification, or he has earned a lot of money and so on. So people might be inclined, because these are some of the qualities that people look to. At this time, you have to be honest. There is no backbiting the person. But don't do it just because you have a personal opinion on the person. Rather, because you want to save a family from falling into disaster by marrying this person. So if you know some people who are, for example, there are some, unfortunately this hurts me a lot when I see this, Muslim brothers, they've got beard and that, but I see them in the corner and I'm thinking they're going to the mosque, and what they got behind there? Bottle of Corona, which is alcohol. This is what you find. But to look at him, you say, you look just like the guy I pray salah next to. And he may be from an upright Muslim family, but it's just his character. If you know this about the person, then what should you do? You should be honest with your reference. Honest. But to the point, honest and to the reference. Do you understand? And that's, at that time, is not considered backbiting. Okay, so this is, I presume this is what he was asking about, brother. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
Inshallah. So I'm going to try and go through this. It's quite a long question. I know someone who had a problem with a Muslim family and whom he was very close to. It arises due to the fact that he did something wrong, and he also asked for forgiveness from them. All they could say is not to contact them anymore and to leave them alone for the sake of Allah. So they cut connection with him. The question is it allowed Islamically for them to say these things and to cut connection with him?
Okay, so this person is a problem. We don't know what the problem is and so on.
No.
Okay, sure.
It's very vague, really.
Okay, inshallah ta'ala. The issue is, we treat it as, because this general is kind of vague, so we treat it as something very general. One of the things is, your fellow Muslim, one Muslim to another Muslim is not allowed to boycott each other more than 3 days, even if you have issues. Which means if you have an argument, and this happens, brothers have arguments all the time. I've seen this. If I tell you, I've seen punch up in mosque, punch up, where the guy had to go to A&E. And when I asked, I said, why are they arguing? I don't know why they're arguing. They are brothers in the sense that these are best friends. And we had to break up a fight once where the guy, he gouged his arm, and we had marshal one brother, the doctor said, that is going to need serious surgery to it. Go straight to A&E. This will happen. There will be disputes amongst Muslims and so on. But the Sunnah is, even no matter how big an issue that is, you cannot boycott your fellow Muslim for more than 3 days. You should try and make attempts to reconcile somehow and so on. Obviously, if it's something very kabair, big and so on, then we need to bring other people in with faqih to deal with the issue. But if it's, like I say, problems that we have, personality clash or something like that, then one of the things is not allowed for you to boycott yourself more than 3 days. Okay, and this is what happened. Because what is it? You are part of the body. You're part of the main body, and you have to stick with this. Being a reclusive or secluding yourself in any way from the rest of the Muslim is not something praiseworthy at all. Not something praiseworthy at all, and it's something that we should. So, because it's a general question, we would say no, we should try to. But without knowing the nature of the thing, I mean, I can't explain any more than that. Except to say the general thing is, you cannot boycott your fellow Muslim for more than 3 days. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
I don't want to sort of encourage boycotting, but do you have to keep company with people who you don't think is good for you, even though they be Muslim?
Very good question.
The question is, do you have to keep company with people, or even though they're Muslim, that are not good for you and your deen?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. It's a very good question, thank you. It's what the brothers are going to ask me. Inshallah, may Allah share the reward, and may Allah give me tawfiq to answer this properly. No, you don't have to spend. The company you keep is totally up to you. You're going to be accounted about the company that you keep anyway. MashaAllah, I have the tawfiq by doing what these brothers do to go and meet a lot of people. But you find my close circle actually is very small. You know, sometimes, you know, you would think like the brother must be inundated with people. My close people that I have are very close, kind of like-minded and going the same way. And this is how I have it, because Ar-Rajul ala dini khalili. You know, the hadith of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is, a man is upon the religion of his friends. If you want to know who I am, see the people that I hang out with. See the people that I am in the company with. I'm not sure these are brothers I know for many years. Okay? And some of you brothers, I know you very well. You are like a mirror of me. Can you see? So this is how it is. So no, if there's someone bad, I may keep him in my company just to help him a little bit. You know, help him a little bit. But he's no reference for me. But he's there because I'm there, I'm here in the society to help my Muslim brother. And inshallah, I will try to do what I can. But you want to know the people with me, you come and see me in the environment that I am. You come and see me in my mosque, with my locals, they see me. They don't see me in my mosque, maybe for 2-3 Jama'at, they think, what happened to you? You made hijrah. I said, no, I haven't made hijrah. I just was in this area and I prayed there. Can you see? So the company that you keep is very important. Very important. So no, you don't have to be with people you don't want to be, but if you can help a person, because who's going to help them come out this jahiliyyah? Who's going to help them? It's not going to be another jahil person, it's going to be you. You can only elevate people by Islam. نَحْنُ قَوْمٌ عَزَّنَا اللَّهُ بِالْإِسْلَامِ. And the same with your sisters. Don't, because you find someone doesn't cover or something like this or doesn't pray, then you forsake them. No, you help bring them. You help bring them back to the right path, inshallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
Just last question. Is there a dua to say to Allah to protect your tongue from backbiting? Specific dua.
I don't think there is anything. But what do you say? Allahumma inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadik. Okay, oh Allah, I am upon your dhikr, and your gratefulness and the good worship of you. And this covers all of these things. The tongue is one of the major organs for worship. How do you make dua? Tell me how you do make dua. Your tongue. Ad-dua huwa al-ibadah. You use your tongue. So you say, oh Allah, my tongue is remembering you all the time. This is how it should be. So Allah will make it like this and so, inshallah ta'ala. So these are general du'as that you can use. I don't know anything generally for backbiting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
بخضوعي ونجومي وسؤالي بخضوع